Reed Spencer of Sporting News. Kyle, back in 2008, you won 8 of the first 22 races and went into the chase as the top seed. Things didn't go well in the chase for the first 3 races there. What have you learned from that experience, that now that you're back in the points lead, tied for most wins in the series, what did you learn from that that's going to help you this year?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, you've got to be prepared. You've got to have your guys doing a good job. You've got to do a good job. When we came here to Loudon, I probably didn't do the best job in practice getting the car set up the way I needed it. But, Sunday on the race, we didn't quite get sway bar bolt tightened up all the way, or something happened there, something broke. And that, we lost our sway bar and struggled along here. Went the following week to Dover and blew an engine. And then we went the following week to Kansas and felt like we had water in the fuel system. So it's just, things like that just seem to relegate us to finishes that we hadn't seen all year, that we didn't want to have happen right at that moment, but it did. So, certainly we hope that we can have better success.
Okay. Mike?
Kyle, it seems like all year you guys from the Gibbs camp have had your share of skirmishes with the RCR camp. Do you feel like things have been stabilized, normalized to a certain extent, or will it be ratcheted up as the series gets closer and closer to the chase itself? And what in your mind was the flashpoint of this rivalry?
You bring up a bad past, and I'm not worried about that. To me, I'm worried about the future and what we can do to win a championship. Whatever it was that did or didn't initiate it or start it doesn't matter to me. It's not the point. The point is trying to move on and get over things in your life, and just try to make sure that you do things the best way that you possibly know how to do it, and let the rest take care of itself. So for us, I feel like our opportunity here is to go out and run the best we can each and every week, and when we worry about what we're doing and how our program's running, the rest of it doesn't matter.
Reed?
Kyle, what did it mean to you to win the Slinger Nationals, and are there any other big super late model races still on your hit list at this point?
Yeah, it was cool, man. It was a tough race, I'll tell you. It was so hot and muggy out. It rained earlier in the day and then kind of heated back up and got a bit steamy. So, when we're out there in the race, the car was running 240 for a little bit of the first 50 laps, and then it got up to like 280 for lap 50 to 100. So we come in at the break, we had to cool it down and went back out, and second half it did the same thing. It got real hot again. So I think the engine's pretty much cooked. But some good racing. One of the guys that was up there, Dave Feeler, was really, really fast and had a great car. Right there with us the whole time. I could barely get away from him. So, competition was close, and, that place at Slinger, man, you get around there in 11 and a half seconds or something like that. So it's cool. So to run 200 laps around there is fun, and we won it, so got that one knocked off. But, there's a few other big races that are across the country that, I'd like to get to, but it's just scheduling that doesn't really allow me to. So one of those being the All-American 400, if they ever bring that back. That's one. Oktoberfest, I think it's up in La Crosse, Wisconsin, or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I have to go back and look again. It might even be. It's not Cedar Rapids. I don't remember. La Crosse, or the Oktoberfest race. I never won the open comp race at the Bull Ring where I grew up. So just little things that you kind of want to do. The Oxford 250 is another one, which will be up here in Oxford, Maine, on July 23rd and 24th weekend. I'll be coming back for that here, and actually I think it's next weekend. So I'll be coming back for that one and racing in the race on Saturday night as well as the race on Sunday. So looking forward to that.
Final 2 questions from Lee and Bob.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. What do you know about the future of JGR's engine program, and where do you get your truck engines, and do you have any plans for a Busch, nationwide program at KBM next year?
Yeah, our engine program at JGR, for as much as I know, is it's solid. It is what it is. We're having the guys from TRD Costa Mesa help us out and do some of the R&D work with the new fuel injection system. So we're not too in depth with that yet, but I know Mark and the guys, they've definitely been sorting all their pieces out and kind of looking at options. But the engine department at JGR's strong and good. And a few weeks we had some really good engines on the racetrack. I felt like we actually had made improvements. Unfortunately, we had an issue last week with Denny's car, but at least it comes in practice and not throughout the race. So our engines for the Kyle Busch Motorsports truck team come from Toyota Racing Technologies, which is the old Triad, I guess. So that's where our stuff comes from. And nationwide plans for next year are it's all about funding. We'd love to be able to put an opportunity together for another driver in our cars to be able to go out for the Nationwide Series Championship and not have to have me run some and somebody else run some. We'd like to be able to race after an owner's championship as well as a driver's championship. So that's our first and foremost goal. We haven't found much success in being able to sell sponsorship for that, but we'll do what we can, and we'll see where we get.
Okay, final question from Bob.
Bob Pock, Racing Daily. When you get to the chase, when you look at Jimmy Johnson, what's their secret? When you look at them, what do you think? Okay, this is what they do that we got to do.
Well, the things that we're gonna do is we're just gonna have to be good. All right, Bob. So, I think the thing that they do well is just, man, they're able to execute. They know what they need to do. They concentrate on hitting all their marks. They cross their T's, they dot their I's, they dot their lowercase J's. Just kind of what I said last week. Just, it's a fact of it's a sport of attention to detail. And those guys seem to be really good at that. Chad on pit road, throughout the race, he'll keep making changes to the car, and they tend to keep getting better. And so they've just got a good way of going about it. And I'm not. They only have one win, and they only have one win at a restrictor plate race this year. So, if you asked me, was I worried that they're not a championship contender? No, I'm definitely worried. Those guys, you don't ever count them out one bit. Not in any race do you count them out. Even last week, I'm like, okay, leading the race, whatever. Jimmy's running second or third, and I was like, they might just all of a sudden come up with something here that they can win the race. So. They're always on the back of your mind, but certainly we'd like to think that we've been successful at doing all that this year, and that's what the first 26 races are about. You kind of practice through those things. You get it done all the right way, and then when it comes to the final 10, you just keep going about it, don't change your ways, and make it happen.
Kyle, thank you very much for your time
No problem.
today.
All right,
Good luck
thank
this
you.
weekend.